I've been using Samsung's newest tablet for 3 weeks now, and I'm genuinely conflicted. Samsung just did something absolutely extraordinary with the Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra. They took a massive 14.6-inch screen, made it thinner than last year's model, added more battery capacity, and somehow made it lighter. But here's where things get interesting. While doing all of this engineering wizardry, they also removed features that people actually used, features that made previous Galaxy Tabs special. And the strangest part? Some of these decisions don't make any logical sense. So today, I'm breaking down everything you need to know about the Tab S11 Ultra, the amazing innovations, the baffling compromises, and most importantly, whether this $1,200 tablet deserves your money. Stay until the end, because I'll reveal the one feature that almost makes you forget all the frustrations. Let's dive in. Let's start with what Samsung absolutely nailed here, because the engineering on this tablet is genuinely impressive. The Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra has a 14.6-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display that's bigger than most laptop screens. Now here's where it gets crazy. Despite this massive screen, the entire tablet measures just 5.1 millimeters thin. To put that in perspective, that's thinner than 5 credit cards stacked together. It's the same thickness as the 13-inch iPad Pro, but with a significantly larger display. Samsung didn't just make it thin though, they made it lighter. The Wi-Fi model weighs exactly 692 grams. That's 36 grams lighter than last year's Tab S10 Ultra, even though they added 400 milliamp hours more battery. Think about that for a second. A bigger battery, same massive screen, but lighter overall weight. That's engineering excellence right there. The display itself is absolutely gorgeous. You're getting 1600 nits peak brightness, which means you can actually use this tablet outdoors without squinting at the screen. High brightness mode delivers 1000 nits sustained, and the 120 Hz adaptive refresh rate makes everything feel incredibly smooth. Whether you're scrolling through documents or watching videos, the fluidity is noticeable. Samsung also included their anti-reflective coating, which genuinely makes a difference when you're working near windows or under bright lights. The bezels have been trimmed down to just 5.2 millimeters on the Ultra, giving you more screen real estate without making the tablet physically larger. This is the kind of thoughtful design work that shows Samsung really understands what tablet users want. Now let's talk about performance, because this is where the Tab S11 Ultra truly shines. Samsung equipped both the standard Tab S11 and the Ultra with MediaTek's Dimensity 9400 Plus processor. This is built on a 3-nanometer architecture, and it's seriously powerful. We're talking about 33% better neural processing, 24% faster CPU performance, and 27% improved graphics compared to last year's model. In real-world use, this tablet handles everything you throw at it. I've been running multiple demanding apps simultaneously, editing photos in Lightroom, streaming 4K videos, and browsing with dozens of tabs open, zero lag, zero stuttering. It just works. But the real game changer is Samsung DeX. If you're not familiar with DeX, it's Samsung's desktop mode that transforms your tablet into a legitimate computer replacement. And with the Tab S11 Ultra, Samsung completely reimagined what DeX can do. You can now run 4 separate desktop environments simultaneously. Let me explain why this matters. Imagine having your work desktop with all your productivity apps, a creative desktop with your design tools, an entertainment setup with streaming apps, and a research environment with your browser and notes. All 4 running at the same time, and you can switch between them with a simple swipe. I tested this extensively. I had Microsoft Office running on Desktop 1, Adobe Apps on Desktop 2, YouTube and Spotify on Desktop 3, and multiple Chrome windows on Desktop 412 apps across 4 virtual desktops, and the performance remained flawless. This MediaTek processor paired with up to 16 gigabytes of RAM makes this tablet more capable than many laptops costing twice as much. Before we continue, if you're finding this review helpful, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button. It genuinely helps more people discover honest, detailed reviews like this. And if you want weekly tech reviews without the marketing fluff, subscribe and turn on notifications. All right, Let's talk about storage and battery, because both are exceptional. You can get the Tab S11 Ultra with up to 1 terabyte of internal storage, which is plenty for most users. But here's the genius part. There's also a micro SD card slot that supports up to 2 terabyte cards. That means you could have 3 terabytes of total storage in a device thinner than a pencil. For creators working with large video files or photographers with massive raw libraries, this is incredible. The battery situation is equally impressive. Samsung packed in an 11,600 mAh battery. That's genuinely huge. Samsung claims up to 23 hours of video playback, and while real-world usage varies, I consistently got between 15 to 18 hours of mixed use. Streaming video barely drains this thing. I watched 2 hours of YouTube, and the battery dropped just 10%. Gaming is more intensive, but even an hour of demanding games only consumed about 15%. And when you do need to charge, the 45-watt superfast charging. 2.0 gets you back to full power in about 90 minutes. That's fast enough that you can top up during lunch and be good for the rest of your day. Now here's where things get complicated, because while Samsung made incredible improvements, they also made some decisions that feel like steps backward. Let's start with the S Pen, because this one is genuinely controversial. Samsung completely redesigned the S Pen from scratch. After years of cylindrical designs, they made it hexagonal. The new shape is supposed to be more comfortable to hold, similar to a regular pencil. They also gave it a cone-shaped tip for better precision and improved tilt angle recognition. In practice, the writing experience is excellent. The new tip does feel more natural, and the hexagonal shape prevents the pen from rolling off your desk, which is actually pretty clever. But here's the problem. Samsung removed all Bluetooth functionality from the S Pen. On previous Galaxy Tabs, the S Pen could do air gestures. You could use it as a remote camera shutter. You could control presentations from across the room. You could navigate your tablet without touching the screen. All of that is gone. Samsung's official explanation is that less than 1% of users actually use these Bluetooth features. But here's my issue with that reasoning. Tablet users aren't phone users. People buy tablets specifically for productivity and creative work. The percentage of tablet users leveraging S Pen's Bluetooth features is definitely higher than 1%. I personally use the remote camera control all the time for group photos and the presentation remote for client meetings. Losing these features feels like Samsung prioritizing manufacturing simplicity over user functionality. There's another change with the S Pen that's less obvious but equally important. Samsung moved the magnetic attachment point from the back of the tablet to the side edge, similar to how Apple does it with the iPad. On one hand, this makes the pen more accessible. You don't have to flip the tablet over to grab it. On the other hand, the magnets aren't particularly strong. If you toss this tablet in a bag without a case, that pen is coming off. You'll need to buy a protective case with a dedicated S Pen holder, which brings me to another frustrating point. Samsung moved the keyboard connection pins from the bottom edge to the back of the tablet. Now, I need to clarify something important here because there's been misinformation spreading online. Your old Tab S10 Ultra keyboard will still work with the Tab S11 Ultra. Samsung confirmed this. The keyboards are compatible. However, Samsung did design new keyboard cases specifically for the S11 series, and these new cases take advantage of the repositioned pins for better typing angles and more stability. Let's talk about the cameras, because this is another area where Samsung made questionable choices. Previous Tab S10 Ultra models had dual front cameras, a standard wide camera and an ultra-wide camera. This was fantastic for video calls because you could fit more people in the frame and the camera could follow you as you moved around. The Tab S11 Ultra now has just one 12-megapixel ultra-wide front camera. Video calls still work fine, but you've lost that flexibility. On the rear, Samsung kept the 13-megapixel main camera and upgraded the ultra-wide to 8 megapixels. Honestly, most people barely use tablet rear cameras anyway, so this upgrade feels less significant than the front camera downgrade. And here's perhaps the strangest decision of all. Samsung completely removed the haptic feedback motor from the Tab S11 Ultra. There's no vibration motor in this tablet whatsoever. That means no tactile response when typing on the screen keyboard, no vibration for notifications, no haptic feedback when interacting with the interface. This feels incredibly bizarre for a $1,200 flagship device. Even budget tablets have vibration motors. Samsung's reasoning appears to be space savings to achieve that ultra-thin profile. But the absence of haptics makes the tablet feel less premium than it should. Despite all these compromises, I need to be completely honest about something. When you're actually using the Tab S11 Ultra for its intended purpose, productivity, and creativity, it's genuinely exceptional. That Dimensity 9400 Plus processor handles everything beautifully. I tested it with demanding tasks. Photo editing in Lightroom with dozens of RAW files open simultaneously. No lag. Video editing in PowerDirector with 4K footage and multiple layers. Smooth playback. Running Samsung DeX with 12 apps across 4 virtual desktops. Zero stuttering. This tablet has serious power, and that power translates into real productivity gains. The display quality makes a huge difference too. When you're working with color-critical projects or watching high-quality content, that dynamic AMOLED 2X screen really shines. Colors are vibrant without being oversaturated. Black levels are perfect. And that 120 Hz refresh rate makes everything feel responsive and immediate. I spent hours taking notes with the S Pen, and despite the missing Bluetooth features, the actual writing experience is excellent. Latency is imperceptible. Palm rejection works flawlessly, and the new cone-shaped tip provides just enough resistance to feel like writing on real paper. Battery life in real-world use is genuinely impressive. I'm talking 15 to 18 hours of mixed productivity work documents, web browsing, note-taking, occasional video streaming. That's a full workday, plus your evening entertainment, without needing to plug in. And when you do charge, that 45-watt fast charging means you're not tethered to an outlet for hours. The quad-speaker setup tuned by AKG delivers surprisingly rich audio for a tablet. There's genuine stereo separation, decent bass response, and enough volume to fill a room. You won't mistake this for dedicated speakers, but for video calls, streaming content, or background music while working, it's more than adequate. Samsung also deserves credit for their software commitment. The Tab S11 Ultra ships with Android 16 and One UI 8, and Samsung promises 7 years of operating system updates plus 7 years of security patches. That means this tablet will receive updates until 2032. For a device this expensive, that long-term support is essential. You're not buying a tablet that'll feel outdated in 2 years. You're investing in a device that Samsung will continue supporting for nearly a decade. So here's the question everyone's asking. With all these compromises, should you actually buy the Tab S11 Ultra? The answer genuinely depends on what you're upgrading from and what you need this tablet to do. If you currently own a Tab S10 Ultra or Tab S9 Ultra, I would not recommend upgrading. The improvements are iterative, not revolutionary. Yes, the processor is faster. Yes, the screen is slightly better. Yes, DeX has new features. But you're also losing Bluetooth S Pen functionality and haptic feedback. The value proposition isn't strong enough to justify spending another $1,200. However, if you're coming from a Tab S8 Ultra or older, or if this is your first premium Android tablet, the Tab S11 Ultra makes a lot more sense. You're getting cutting-edge performance, an absolutely gorgeous display, exceptional battery life, and productivity features that genuinely rival laptops. The DeX improvements alone might justify the upgrade for productivity-focused users. Being able to run 4 separate desktop environments transforms how you work on a tablet. And despite the removed features, the core experience is genuinely excellent. There's also the competitive landscape to consider. In the premium Android tablet space, you're looking at options like the Xiaomi Pad 7 Pro or the OnePlus Pad 3, both of which offer competitive specs at lower prices. But neither of them have Samsung's software polish, DeX capabilities, or S Pen integration. On the other side, there's the iPad Pro with M5 chip, which is the obvious alternative. The iPad Pro has better app optimization, a more mature accessory ecosystem, and Apple's track record for long-term performance. But iPads don't have DeX. They don't have true multitasking like Android, and you're locked into Apple's ecosystem. The Tab S11 Ultra gives you more flexibility, more customization, and frankly, more freedom to use your device exactly how you want. The pricing is another consideration. The base Tab S11 Ultra with 12 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage starts at $1,200. That's genuinely expensive. But when you compare it to similarly equipped iPad Pros or premium Windows 2-in-1s, the pricing is actually competitive. And if you take advantage of Samsung's trade-in program, you can potentially save hundreds of dollars by trading in any old tablet or phone, regardless of condition. Alright, let's wrap this up with my final verdict. The Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra is a fascinating study in contradictions. Samsung created genuine engineering magic, a tablet thinner than anything else in its size class, revolutionary DeX productivity features, battery life that legitimately lasts all day and then some, and enough storage to hold your entire digital life. The performance is exceptional, the display is gorgeous, and when you're actually using it for work or creativity, it delivers an experience that few other tablets can match. But Samsung also made decisions that feel frustrating, removing haptic feedback from a flagship device, gutting the S Pen's Bluetooth capabilities that power users actually valued, downgrading from dual front cameras to a single sensor. These aren't deal breakers, but they're decisions that make you question whether Samsung is truly listening to their most dedicated users. The Tab S11 Ultra is absolutely the best Android tablet you can buy right now, but it's not perfect. And at $1,200, it should be closer to perfect than it is. Here's my recommendation. If you need a powerful Android tablet for productivity, content consumption, and occasional creativity, and you don't already own a recent Galaxy Tab, the S11 Ultra is an excellent choice. You'll love the performance, you'll appreciate the display, and you'll get years of reliable use from it. But if you're coming from a Tab S10 or S9 Ultra, wait for the Tab S12. Wait for better trade-in deals. Or honestly, just keep using your current tablet because it's still excellent. For everyone else considering this versus an iPad Pro, ask yourself this question: do you value flexibility and customization, or do you value app optimization and ecosystem integration? If it's the former, go with the Tab S11 Ultra. If it's the latter, the iPad Pro might serve you better. Now, I know what you're thinking. How does the Tab S11 Ultra actually compare to the iPad Pro with M5 chip in real-world performance? I ran extensive head-to-head tests, and the results surprised me. Click this video right here to see which $1,200 tablet actually wins in productivity, creativity, battery life, and overall value. You won't want to miss it. And if this review helped you make a decision, hit that subscribe button. I publish honest, detailed reviews every single week, covering the latest tech without the marketing nonsense. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.